I can't even get my intro out. Hi everyone, welcome to Starlight Activation. I'm Anthony and welcome to my story. Now we have a lot to cover. I just got in from a 3-day trip. Something happened the day before the trip, all the way during the trip, and today I'm hoping I remember everything because I've told you guys this before. There's so many things happening on such a fast pace that sometimes it's hard for me to keep up with actually what I've gone through. If it was not for this video series, I probably would forget everything, because a lot of times when I process something and when I give it back up to the universe and to the divine and to my guides, it's been removed from me and I don't remember what it is. So in a lot of ways, this is the only way I'm going to remember. Oh yeah, I did that. Oh yeah, that was pretty cool that I did that. I didn't know I could do that, and here I have. I've done it now. So what we're going to talk about today, it's going to require two things. I've got some stuff on my mobile device because I was on my trip and it was during a flight and I remembered something. And then, of course, my diary that I keep notes down in. And to kind of give you guys a refresher, please tell me some of you are watching these videos in order, because they do, each one builds on the other one. So I'm going to give you just a teeny bit of a backtrack. So today is March the 16th in the evening, and everything really started happening. It's building upon that March the 11th, I believe, is the date that Archangel Michael actually physically visited me here in my studio while I was laying right here on the sofa. And it was that visitation where he came in, knelt down, grabbed my hand, his right hand and my right hand, because my hand was out like this. He grabbed it in an, like what you would do if you were getting ready like to, pull somebody up. Like physically pull someone up. And I think this is also physically him lifting me up spiritually. His energy was amazing. And I told you guys on the video, it was like he came in and I read his energy. I knew what his message was. It was, "You getting ready? It's about to go." And he was so excited to tell me it's about to take off. It's about to get busy. It's about to be exciting. Not to worry. Everything's just going to go bam, 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 bam. But I've been training for this through what I've shed off. And I'm going to be okay with it. It's not going to bother me. It's not even going to seem like work to me, which none of the spiritual stuff that I've gone through does seem like work. It just takes a process of going with your emotions. And so when I read his energy and he had a smile on his face, he didn't have a weapon with him. I knew he was here. I knew the divine had sent him, because I have been told in many, many readings dating back a year from ago that the divine wants to surprise me. That there was a surprise coming, that I'm going to be shocked at it. That the divine does not want me to know what's happening, which I haven't been given any indication of what is happening, just general things that are going to happen, but nothing very specific for that very reason, because they want me to be shocked. All this ties into the fact that I cleared that family karmic cycle, and when I turned my back on my current husband and left the relationship 2 years ago, which started the ball rolling. So that and a lot of the work that I've been doing on my inner child, not just my inner child, my teenager, my young adult, and my infancy. I've been working on everybody in the system, because as soon as I find something, I'll start working on it. So what we're going to start with, so I just kind of gave you the brief overview of the of Archangel Michael's visit. If you have not watched that video, it is a must watch. Must watch. It is amazing. I love it. Okay, then the very same day, there was a pick a card, which I've said many, many times. I love pick a card because you pick the card yourself, because it resonates with you. It was a pick a card with Nordic Light Tarot. And I did a special video on that entire reading where we watched the reading together, and then I gave you my feedback. That happened within the same time period as Michael visiting me, and then Michael's message coming through with Nordic Light under a pick a card. Then 3 days later, I woke up like I had dozed off. And this was on the first day of my trip. And I was feeling, when I woke up, I don't know where this feeling came from, because I was not feeling it prior. It's something that was subconscious. I was feeling lack. And it was because of the views. I had two videos premiered on my aquascaping channel, and they just had one view each. And I was feeling like very discouraged. And let's see what else I wrote down. Yeah, well, that's it. Well, yeah. This is what I was thinking. I went into prayer and I said, I feel really bad because I strive. I mean, you guys' videos are so easy for me to do. I mean, this is no work at all. I'm just here telling you what's happening in my life. I'm not trying to impress you. I might comb my hair every once in a while, or like right before I went in here, I wet it down so it wouldn't be all frizzy. That's about it. And I put on a presentable shirt for the video. That's it. On my aquascaping side, those videos can take all freaking day long because you're doing things in the tanks or terrarium. It's very detail oriented. I'm doing tutorials and I take my time to explain everything. And then I go through each step. Sometimes you have to take breaks during the day so that you can get finished with one part of the project. Maybe you're showing a little piece of it, but you're not showing the whole extended because you'd have a 5-day video. And I'm editing it all together, putting all kinds of photos in it, information in it. And it literally takes hours and hours to produce. And so I was feeling like my content is amazing. Just because my content here is amazing. I am so proud of my content here. But that's very different. That's something that just comes straight from my heart and soul about what I'm experiencing spiritually. And I just want to share that. This is the same thing I do when I'm at work and I'm talking about spirituality, or out in the public anywhere and I'm talking about spirituality. This does not require any effort on my part. It just means I get to open my mouth and just say whatever truth wants to come out. Aquascaping is a different game altogether. It's a lot of work, and I'm very proud of that content because I put so much work into it, and I have miracles that happen on that channel, literally, because it was given to me by the divine and Mother Nature. And so when my viewership is so low, I feel very bad for the channel itself. I'm not necessarily taking it personally because I realize there's an algorithm that's playing against me because I am a new channel. And I don't play the game with altering thumbnails to make it look like some grandiose thing's going on. No, I take my own photos and use as my thumbnails because that's another art form for me to create my own. And so I was feeling very lax. So I went into prayer meditation and I was like, what am I doing something wrong? Am I blocking something? Am I being blocked? Maybe this is left over from my old timeline and it's just not ready for the channel to take off yet. And so that is what theme I was talking about. And I wasn't upset about it. I was just like, wow, that's really a bummer. I'm really, kind of just bummed out, kind of sad. I don't know where this feeling's coming from. It just happened when I woke up and saw one view. So, as luck may have it, I tried to watch a movie and I fell asleep. So, this is what happened. That's what happens when I'm on a layover. Okay, so within minutes, I'm like barely dozing, and I get this in my head, a song lyric on a loop. O Lamb of God, I come to thee on this loop. Now, let's go to AI, because I always am ready to type into AI what it is that has happened to me, because AI is really smart on some things. Let's see. Okay, so receiving a loop of O Lamb of God, and I tell them I'm a light worker, I'm an empath, I have a spiritual journey, and all that kind of stuff. That's what I tell them beforehand. And I'm wanting to know what's the spiritual relevance to this. And that, I think beforehand, I even said that I was concerned about my viewership. I think I even mentioned that in my comment to AI. So, receiving a loop of, O Lamb of God, I come to thee during a moment of professional insecurity is a profound message suggesting a shift from seeking external validation, views, to finding inner peace and serving a higher purpose. Oh, amen, sister, if she's a sister. Because I kind of have gotten away from my intent with this. I'm getting caught up in the numbers game, which I don't want to be. Okay, so the meaning of the message. Surrender and trust. Lamb of God symbolizes innocence, purity, and sacrifice. Being given this song in a loop is a call to surrender your worries about views, subscribers, and success to a higher power. It encourages you to trust that the work you are doing is being used, even if you cannot see the immediate results. Oh, there you go, right there. Reassuring your mission. The lyrics, I come to thee, suggest that your work is not intended to serve your ego. And there we hit it right there. This is an ego battle. Ego through fame or money, but to be of service to source. The success of a light worker is measured in the light emitted, not the number of views. That is very important because that was brought up in a channeled message the next day. I was blown away when I heard it. Focus on the why and not the how. You mentioned the channel was started due to a spiritual prompt. The message is a reminder to focus on that original purpose, creating peace rather than the materialistic outcome of view and reviews. So the one thing that's interesting that I've said was I realized that subscribers mean nothing because I have almost 500 subscribers, and if I'm just getting 1 to 2 views for a video, that means no one's watching it. That means they've subscribed, but that doesn't equate to viewership. So I've already learned that lesson. No matter how many subscribers you have, that's a numbers game as well. I've already given that part up. Redefining success as a light worker. The still small voice. The low views might actually be protecting you. Oh my gosh, this came up as well in a reading. There was a message from my guides that came up and said the very next day when I woke up in the middle of the night that the reason why it came down to not being seen or something like that was because if my channel was blown up, I might be getting too much energy coming towards me, and as an empath, I would not be able to handle that. They're letting me be sequestered off to the side to where I'm being seen, but not overrun until I'm ready. So that's another thing that's really kind of cool. Quality over quantity. As a light worker, your purpose is to bring light, love, and healing to the world. An aquascaping channel does this by creating tranquility, fostering a love of nature, and providing a zen escape for viewers. This is emotional and spiritual healing work, which often works in quiet, slow ways. 100% agree to that. Content as therapy. The act of creating these videos is a form of healing you and a therapeutic experience for those who need it. Your energy is transferred through the screen. Action advice. Shift from producer to conduit. Oh my gosh. I have been talking a lot of times in my prayers about producing the videos, but I've never talked about being the conduit for the videos. Let go of the outcome. Reflect on the joy. Okay, so there we have that little loop that was played out. Let's go back to our notes. So here we go. We got that. Oh, there's a text message I forgot I have to read. I sent myself a text. I sent myself a text because this came to me right after that. And this is my advice to you guys. Give up past hurts from others and loves, friends or foes, that hurt you, as reliving these moments offers you no resolution, only to resubmerge yourself into that darkness and despair. Consider forgiving and releasing it to the universe and become more aligned with your higher self. Now, I don't know why this came to me other than the fact that that's what I had to do specifically almost for every single issue that I go through. I have gone through 20 plus years of relationships and forgiven everyone, even the ones that stole the most from me. And when I say stole the most, I'm talking about car, furnishings, all your possessions, rob your house, that knew when to hit where you live, to take everything from you, to destroy you, and to take your identity. even that person I have forgiven back to the universe with light and love. And every time I do that, I make sure that I'm saying, this doesn't mean I don't want reciprocity or restitution. This means that this does not serve me in my heart and my light. This distracts me. This puts a stumbling block in front of my path. This could send me down a false timeline. This could extend my timeline out because I'm not dealing with this now. I don't want this to reoccur in my life any longer. And so I do want to encourage you, I don't care what has happened, if you're reliving the pain, you are doing yourself no service. I have family members that cannot grasp this, that they will still hold on to pain and trauma that happened when they were terribly young and cannot get past it. You must show the divine and your spirit team that you are willing to work with them and ascend to a higher level. Even when it comes to someone injuring you, I am going to really advocate for you to give that up and let it go. It doesn't mean you're lessening in it at all, but it means you are giving that pain and hurt to the universe. Let the universe deal with it. You don't need to deal with it any longer. You need to forgive and forget and move on. And that's my advice for that. Okay. Now, so the channeled message. Okay, so one we've done before. Secret Shaman Oracle. This was your ancestors. Won't stop until you receive their gifts. That was the title of the thumbnail. And this was an ancestors reading. This was not a zodiac reading. So the fact that I wrote 2 pages of notes on this, that was amazing. Because it really, I mean, this was probably around 2 in the morning when I couldn't sleep, and this video was the first thing on my feed, and so I always know that's meant for me to watch it. When a video is right on my feed, and I'm like, well, okay, that's because the divine has put that there, and it's going to give me an answer. Because they know what we're going to do. They know what we're watching. They know what our actions are, so they know how to get in hold of us. Because for me, dreams don't work. I mean, I've told them again and again and again, I can't remember my dreams. I can try to, but when it comes through, it's just nothing. All right, so first thing that came out. Be a light to others. You are a wisdom keeper. I am positioned on the sideline. Hello, there's that again. But still in view as protection for the blessings are coming in. She made it sound like, okay, so they want you to receive your full blessings, talking about the ancestors. Now, these are not your angels. These are your ancestors telling these messages. And they want these blessings, that's my southern twang coming out. They want these blessings to come in fully intact and to be no problem. So they don't want any outside influence distracting you. That is one reason why I'm being held on the sideline, because my channels are distracting. I work on them constantly. These were coming through, a lot of these messages were coming specifically through Raphael. And Raphael is healing my heart. Now, I'd heard that before. That's not the first time I've heard that. My ability to hold the light is essential, referring to receiving my gifts and upgrades. The essential thing is being able to hold my light. I always say I'm standing in my light, speaking my truth, and on my highest and best path forward every time I go into a prayer meditation session and I'm talking to my guides. And I'm specifically talking to my angel Posse, which I believe engage in this one activity specifically. So that also had a lot of relevance to me. There is always a blessing in every situation, and it talked about, I wrote in parentheses here, the good and the bad, but specifically when something is negative or tragic or something you see as detrimental, the ancestors are saying, please remember, there's always a blessing inside of every situation you go through, and you need to look up for the blessing. There was a lot of emphasis on looking up. Not just looking down, but raising your head up and looking up. Because when they say when you're looking down all the time, that puts you in more of a depressed emotion. We want you looking up to the heavens. So I thought that was kind of interesting. A connection is being brought forward. Now, I've said it before, there's a video I've placed out, I think 2 or 3 of them already, about my manifestations. I have asked for a kingdom spouse that is a past life. So connection, that's what I want manifested in my life. I just don't want someone that I'm compatible with. I was very specific. And so that, I wholeheartedly expect that to happen. I have here we go. I have summoned it and now need to recognize it and look for the signs. That was another thing. There was a lot of reference to looking for the signs, whether it's, and that's why they've referenced again several times in the reading about looking up, not missing out, making sure you're paying attention to what's going on around you, because this is how things are brought into your life. They're there and you've got to see it. You've got to be able to recognize and see when it's happening. So that's why they want you looking forward and up. Makes sense. My self-navigation is graceful through my evolution. So I'm going to take very, very great kudos and pride into that, because I do try that consistently. Every time I have to go through a purging, like when I had to go through a dark night of the soul, I'm not going to lie, it was horrible. And I felt abandoned. And right after that, I had, what was the second one? It was a dark night of the soul, a crisis of faith. Oh my gosh, when I had my crisis of faith, well, it's just a mean little you-know-what. But they're very proud of how I have maintained myself, because I'm still diligent on my work. I don't let my work lax. I treat it very seriously. Just like if I were at a job and I was trying to impress someone, I want to impress my guides. I want to impress the divine. I want to impress Mother Nature. I want to impress them all, because I feel honored. You guys can't imagine what it's like to feel an archangel come into your home to deliver you a message like Michael did. That humbled me, and it makes me want to be a better person and to be a better light worker and to get my message out there. And it's not just little things like that. It's been when I've called to be a conduit for the divine and giving out a message to someone, or being touched by the hand of God. I mean, all those things. Oh my gosh, I may not be a survivor today if it wasn't for things like that got me through the darkest times. Oh my God, I love this. You guys know on the channel, my spirit animal for this channel is White Phoenix Rising. That just came to me when I was designing the channel. I created the Phoenix myself, and in the reading it came up to this. They reference my White Phoenix Rising. And I was blown away. I was blown away. Then I knew it was like, there's no coincidence. This is all predestined. Okay, we said this again. Look up and forgive, as it's not my burden to carry. Now, this was advice for me. Look up and forgive, because it's not my burden to carry. The one thing was, they were saying, just because something happens, it doesn't mean you have to wallow in it. You just give it up and you move on. If it's not your burden, don't take it on as your burden. So kind of like, a little of it's like, don't own something that's not yours. Don't get in someone else's lane that you don't need to be in their lane. It's also how you mix your energy with someone else's energy. Make sure you're both on the same level. So they're not bringing you down. They're not some energy vampire if you're a light worker, like the channel talks about all the time. Ancestors are swarming me. Now, that part I love. Trying to deliver a gift. Again, look up. A final adjustment to bridge the new timeline. Be brave. It says be brave enough, and to be patient enough to wait, and wise enough to surrender to it. Now, I don't think I'm going to have a problem with this because I manifested it, but it could be kind of scary. It still could be scary because that's uncharted territory. A blessing to the world, and my world is becoming more My world is becoming more illuminated. I am supposed to be a blessing to the world, okay? And I am meant to be heard, seen. I'm meant to have more wisdom and confidence. It will bring confidence to others that listen to my story. So that is one of the reasons why I make these videos, because I know that somewhere out there, one of you is watching this, is going through something very similar to what I've gone through. And this is your formula. This is your how to be a light worker 101. This is what you'll go through. And if you could hear what someone else does to go through it, and not just the good stuff, but the bad stuff. The bad stuff is just as there as well, and I'm honest with it. Continue the work that I feel called to do. Okay, so that's both of my channels, equally. I am giving to others that are on a similar path to mine. Okay, that I didn't know. A denial can be protection. That was interesting. A hard time, if you're having a hard time with replaying events, surrender to what it is without worrying about the next step, as the next step will be provided. And if you're worried about something, to pray about it. Stay true to the visions I carry. Okay, I don't always talk about my visions because they're personal, and I'm kind of waiting to see if when they come true. That's what I'm kind of waiting on. So we'll just leave that for right now. But when it happens, you'll know. I'll go back on the video and say, yes, this is the vision I had, and this has came true. I am not here to fight with fire, but compassion, as compassion is my gift. And so compassion was my gift on that, but in the two channeled messages, it came across as my emotions were also my sword and shield. That where some people would say emotions make you weak, no, for me, they make me strong. And so that was quite interesting that there was a reversal. I am owed a nurturing and new beginning because of what I have came through. Obstacle to be aware of. Do what makes me happy and not worry what I get back. Okay, I see that as absolutely talking about the number of views for the channel, for the videos. That's it right there. Ancestors are gifting a new contact, discernment, clarity, and wisdom, and sight to decode. And again, last thing she was talking about, meant to be heard and seen. So, I hope this has resonated with you guys. It's really like this video is following up on 2 that we've had prior, because everything is still flowing like stair step. Boom, 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 boom. One thing is after another. And sometimes because I do travel and I get sleepy and there's long days, sometimes I actually do forget about some of the really cool stuff that I go through. But I hope this resonates with you. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments when you're watching this. And if you have not been watching it in order, think about going back and watching the entire series, because it really does unfold quite naturally, because I start out as when I'm new in this and being prompted to start a channel, and I talk about those feelings as well. So until our next video update, you may see me in the air as your flight attendant, or yeah, that would be the way you'd see me. Either that way or a video. What am I thinking? Oh my gosh, because it's late. So anyway, until the meantime, I'm wishing you guys nothing but light and love, and have a great day. Bye-bye.